Hey, what's up, Sneak Peekers? Ethan here at the South by Southwest red carpet for Ethan Hawke's new film, Blaze. We're here at the Paramount with a lot of cool cast and crew. Come check it out. With basing this off of a true story, how crucial was it having Sybil actually on? Was she on set with this entire process?
On set every day. She was kind of our guiding light. Her memoir, it's called Living in the Woods in a Tree with Blaze Foley, and she was very much the fountain, the well for us of creativity. And I knew when I read her book that if I could make a movie that felt like her book feels, the way you feel after you read her book, I wanted to make a movie that made you feel that way.
And how important was this? Because no one's really heard, a lot of people haven't heard of Blaze Foley, people haven't really heard the music, don't realize the impact. How important was you to be the one making the movie about him, and how did it affect the way you treated telling the story?
You know, I think if I thought too much about it, I wouldn't have done it. You know, he's very important to the people that knew him, and you know, in a lot of ways, you have to realize that the movie's not a documentary. You know, it's really a work of art, and it's about what Blaze Foley means to us. You know, we're experiencing the legend of Blaze Foley. You know, and in a lot of ways, for me, the movie is about all the artists around us and people around us who are met with indifference, you know, and how hard that is. And most of the music biopics you ever see are all about somebody who made it big, really big, as if that's made their life valuable. All of our lives are valuable, you know, and I wanted to tell a movie about that.
That's awesome. And this last question, as a director, how important was it surrounding yourself with cast and crew? How long was the process of making sure you had the right people behind you to tell the story right?
You know, it's always difficult. We're all only as good as the people we work with, and a large part of the movie, the DNA of the movie, was casting real musicians as musicians. You know, Ben Dickey and Charlie Sexton as Blaze and Towns. That was the gamble of the movie, was that I believed in them as actors, and they could bring their true relationship to music. You know, Charlie really has, music is in his blood, and he could put that on film. And he also takes acting really seriously, and so he and Ben are artists, and so I believed in them that they could do it, but I knew we'd all only be as good as each other.
How much were you on set, and how helpful were you with the process, turning this into more of a narrative instead of a documentary?
Well, I hope that I brought a certain reality, perhaps, to the process of creating, you know, the narrative. You know, I came to the set with the love letters that Blaze had written me, and his ponytail, and books that he had given me for gifts, and I think that people began to realize, oh, this really happened. This man really lived, and we're trying to sort of resurrect that life. And so it was grounding. I hope that my presence was grounding, and I think there were times, like one time the cinematographer said to me, so how did you light the treehouse? And I said, well, we used candles and kerosene lamps. And I mean, the look on his face, he was just, I could have been, you know, divulging the meaning of life. Like, he was just so happy to learn that. So I was able to bring, I think, that kind of reality to the creation of the film. I hope that's true.
That's awesome. Did you appreciate the fact that musicians were actually playing a lot of these characters?
I thought that was one of the many kind of brilliant things that Ethan did, because I mean, you'll see it when you see the movie. There's just an ease, and also they're such good musicians. So you really get this sense of Blaze's artistry, Towns' artistry, and I think it gives the movie a real authenticity that wouldn't happen any other way.
Was it strange at all watching yourself being played by another actors?
It's weird, you know, but it's Alia Shawkat, and so, you know, I'm so grateful for that Ethan cast her, because her talent and her presence, it allowed me to really relax into the process, and I knew I could trust her, and I hope I was helpful to her. You know, I feel so lucky that it's Alia playing me.
With this movie, you guys approached it more as like a story instead of like a documentary.
Yeah.
So how was that process on set?
Well, you know, there's already a beautiful documentary about Blaze Foley called Duct Tape Messiah. And so we watched that as, you know, part of our learning process. But, you know, because we had Sybil Rosen, who, you know, his book was part of the catalyst for making this movie, and you know, some of Blaze's family was involved, and they came by, and, you know, you want to do it justice. You know, you don't want to mess it up, because this is people's real lives that you're trying to put on there. And, you know, it's not a documentary. There's you know, we're trying to stay true to the spirit of Blaze, and hopefully, you know, if he's looking down today, he wouldn't want to throw up or anything.
Right. Do you think the film has benefited by having so many musicians actually playing characters?
Absolutely. That was I mean, when Ethan called me about it, he said, "Look, we're gonna do this movie with my buddy Ben Dickey and Charlie Sexton. They're not really actors, and you know, can you come down, and I need someone to be in the scenes with, so that, like, if they, you know," and I was like, "Oh, sure, that sounds great." And I went down and I saw them act, and I was like, "Oh, you didn't, you know, these guys are fine. I'm just trying to keep up with them, you know, because musicians know how to play musicians, you know."
How much do you think the film benefits from being like a narrative film with the actual person who wrote the memoir about it being on set versus a normal documentary?
Oh, well, Sybil was just a guiding force, I think. You know, she really, she just kept us honest, you know, and it was so good to just kind of check in with somebody who knew Blaze, who loved Blaze. And I think when I was on set, it felt like we were doing a really sacred act, really trying to honor this person who gave so much and who left us too soon. So I think it was a really, it made it a more spiritual experience.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to follow us at Sneak Peek TV for the rest of our South by Southwest coverage, and see you next time. Bye-bye.